We have breaking news tonight. We've been following all afternoon and evening online and on the air right here on 7 Eyewitness News. New York State Police here in Western New York now investigating the possible sighting of those two escaped killers from upstate, David Sweat and Richard Matt.
This afternoon, a witness spotted two suspicious men along some railroad tracks that run along Route 20 in the Allegany town of Friendship. Our team of reporters providing updates from various scenes on Twitter all night, as well as updating you at the top of every hour here on 7 Eyewitness News. This shot from Jill Perkins showing one man taking no chances, arming himself with a rifle in case the unthinkable happens.
7 Eyewitness News reporters Rachel Elzevon and Ed Dranch following this story for us tonight throughout the evening down in the southern tier.
We begin with Rachel Elzevon. She's stuck in traffic on Interstate 86. Rachel.
That's right, Kendra and Keith. We are in the middle of a very backed up traffic scene right now on I-86. You can see it goes for quite some distance behind me. This, of course, because of several roadblocks put up as police look for the fugitives. We have a look at a line of cars and trucks on I-86 East as we were driving by. My photographer, Jeff Wick, and I estimate that's about 2 miles of vehicles just crawling down the interstate ever so slowly. There's also a similar backup going westbound. Now, the whole time there has been a helicopter circling in and out of the area with spotlights looking for Richard Matt and David Sweat. We are told law enforcement is searching every vehicle, including the trunks of cars. Now, this is a very rural area. The closest town to where I'm standing is Friendship, just about 2,000 people. Those driving through this area say that this is something they've never seen before in this region, in this area of Allegany County. Now, we're hearing several emotions from drivers, some frustrated by the long line, skeptical of the search, others glad every precaution possible is being taken.
I don't think they'd be doing this or having a helicopter overhead if there wasn't something going on. And it just seems so distant, but now it's closer. So it makes it a little more real. But I just don't want any troopers killed this time.
That one couple says seeing so many state troopers involved in a search like this brings back memories of the Bucky Phillips manhunt back in 2006. Roadblocks are also being set up on County Road 20. Police taking every precaution possible. Once again, though, this evening, try to avoid taking I-86 in either direction in the area of the town of Friendship. Traffic just barely crawling. We estimate we've maybe moved a quarter of a mile in the last 45 minutes, actually in the last hour and a half now. Police just being as thorough as possible with everything going through this area. Live in Friendship, Rachel Elzevon, 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Rachel, thank you so much for that report. Police agencies setting up a command center at the State Police Barracks in Amity tonight.
7 Eyewitness News reporter Ed Dranch live in Allegany County right now with more on what's happening down there.
And we are just down the block from that center on Route 20 in the town of Amity. State Police stressed tonight this is just a tip, but this is, of course, one of many tips around New York State that have led police to an area to search vigorously for David Sweat and Richard Matt. I want to show you State Police behind me are searching every car that comes out of the area on County Road 20 and Route 19. This has been going on for many hours at this point as police stand by vigilantly looking for any inclination that they might be trying to get in or out of this area. But of course they're on high alert just as much as anyone else living in this area, only because their safety is at risk just as much as folks who live here. Of course, the two people who are on the run for now 15 days who escaped from the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York, are killers. In fact, one is a cop killer. I want to show you what it looked like earlier tonight while we were here in the town of Amity. You could see that there were police officers, the U.S. Marshals, state troopers, in addition to local officials who were checking their weapons. And in fact, the Erie County Sheriff's Air 1 helicopter was hovering overhead and landed in front of us as they aid in the search for these convicted killers. We've also been told that there are police agencies searching through cabins and through homes in this area, trying to locate these men if in fact they are here. We were told this was a tip that came in earlier today, somewhat, quote, legitimate, although there are no confirmed sightings of these two fugitives who've been on the run now for 15 days. I was also following up on a tip earlier tonight that there were shots fired in the town of Cuba, which is nearby this search area. area. I'm told from police sources that that was in fact fireworks and turned out to be nothing upon their investigation. But again, the search continues now 15 days after Richard Matt and David Sweat escaped from that prison facility. And still tonight, there is no word if they are in fact here. But again, some sort of a tip that led them here, and we'll continue to follow that for you. We'll have live updates again throughout the show on 7 Eyewitness News at 11. For now, we're live in Amity. Ed Dranch, 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Ed. Now, a number of different police agencies are searching by air and on the ground. We understand as many as 800 law enforcement checking out what police are calling a very credible sighting of these two escaped prisoners from upstate. Now, people who live down in this area say they're taking no chances tonight. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Jill Perkins live in Allegany County as we continue our team coverage.
Yeah, we're here on Maple Grove Road. This has really been the hub of the entire search. Behind me, those lights, well, those are state police vehicles. They have been here all day. It's very hard to tell because it's dark and it's now raining, but those railroad tracks where the reports came in of those two men who fit the description of Sweat and Matt, just actually a couple hundred yards behind me. Now let's show you some video that we shot when we first arrived on scene. You can see state police vehicles, there were helicopters up in the air, and we also checked in with residents. Now, we witnessed state police searching their backyards and asking them questions. Did they see anything suspicious? But residents also taking matters into their own hands. Many men could be seen with their own shotguns drawn, checking their entire properties just as an extra precaution.
Be kind of preparing because being in the country, you always think that, we always should be ready for anything like this, but not really. We didn't think we would be 50 cop cars going up and down the street, but we're all pretty close connected down here. We all call each other, and we just, yeah.
On Maple Grove Road in Friendship. This is really, like I said, the hub of the entire search. State police just a couple hundred yards behind me. The helicopter is still up in the air. They have not stopped flying this entire time. Now, canine units are on the ground, and behind me actually is the I-86 overpass where cars are traveling at a very slow rate of speed. They are being stopped and searched by police. We were actually stopped when we first got on scene here hours and hours ago. But just to recap again, reported sighting of two men who fit the description of Richard Matt and David Sweat along the railroad tracks just a few hundred yards behind me. State police have been here. They responded immediately when a resident called that sighting in. We'll have much more online at WKBW.com. Back to you guys in the studio.
Jill, thank you. Now, there is one man in the heart of all of this search activity. He's the caretaker of the Maple Grove Cemetery in Friendship. He says state troopers checked the area in and around that cemetery more than half a dozen times today. He tells us about the chaos.
All I seen was just a lot of police activity and going up and down my road. When I come into Friendship from Cuba, I had to show my license in order to get home. When I was getting off the expressway over on the westbound lane, traffic was backed up as far as you could see, because they were searching the cars. They were stopping every car and looking inside of them. They asked you where you lived and what your address was, and then they asked you for your license. And the trooper told me that, there's a possible sighting of the fugitives. I just figured those guys are desperate, and you never know what they might do.
Well, again, that was Gary Baker, who is the caretaker at the cemetery in that area. He says he is armed with a .22 caliber rifle. Other neighbors are also arming themselves, as you saw, just in case they come face to face with those fugitives.
Now, here's a little background on this story for you. Richard Matt and David Sweat escaped from the Clinton County Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York, 2 weeks ago. That's up in the northern part of the state in the Adirondack region near the Canadian border. They used power tools, among other things, to make their escape. There have also been reported sightings of these two men near the Pennsylvania state line in Steuben County, which is east of Allegany County.
A woman who worked at that prison, Joyce Mitchell, is now accused of helping them escape by providing those tools and other contraband that were used by Sweat and Matt. Prosecutors say she was going to be the getaway driver as well, but she got cold feet and never showed up. Yesterday, a separate corrections officer was also placed on administrative leave as part of the investigation into this escape.
Now, Richard Matt is a city of Tonawanda native. He murdered his boss, 76-year-old William Rickerson, back in December of 1997. Rickerson's body was then dismembered, and his body parts were later found in the Niagara River. Matt then fled to Mexico, where he killed another man in a bar fight there. He was apprehended and then brought back here to the U.S. to face charges.
Now, the other escaped convict, David Sweat, shot and killed a Broome County Sheriff's deputy in July of 2002, both men serving life sentences for their crimes. New York State offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the capture of either suspect and $100,000 for both of them. The U.S. Marshals Service has placed Sweat and Matt on their list of the top 15 most wanted fugitives and is also offering a reward for their capture. Stay with 7 Eyewitness News on Twitter, Facebook, and WKBW.com for continuing breaking coverage on this breaking story right here in Western New York. Well, we continue to follow breaking news involving the search for those two escaped killers, which has now shifted into parts of South Central and Western New York.
Joe Perkins is tweeting from the scene. She's been doing this all night long with scenes like this one. People arming themselves now with rifles and shotguns, trying to protect themselves in the event that they come across these two escaped killers. Police are warning people, don't do anything except call 911 immediately.